Any. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gold Rush Football TV on Gold Rush Football Podcast. I still remain your favorite podcaster, Olanrewaju Abodunrin. Today, we'll be starting from Old Trafford, where Manchester United and Liverpool ends in 2-2 draw. There's been a lot of talks before this game. It's a title game that might decide who wins the EPL, and of course, Liverpool could not get the maximum 3 points. I'll be bringing on the guys, and I'll be starting from my very special co-host, which is online with me. I have Pius online. Pius, how you doing now?
Very fine, Larry, and greetings to everyone in the studio. Good to be on the podcast once again.
Yeah, and I have the Liverpool man here. Seun is here on the podcast. How you doing, Seun? How you feeling?
Well, it's good to be on the show. It's another Sunday afternoon. It's good to be here.
That sounds in a very low morale for you today. But before we go there, let me bring on Sam. Sammy, how you doing now? The Chelsea man. It is what it is now. It is what it is.
We have accepted our fate. But you know, today was a good game. Good day. To watch Liverpool suffer. So.
Oh, okay.
You want to go that route? Okay.
All right. Before we go to that route, let's go to the business of the day. It ended 2-2 It ended 2-2 at Old Trafford between Manchester United and Liverpool, which puts a dent in the title challenge again for the Reds. Pius, what went down at Old Trafford? Walk us through, please.
Well, it looks like a 2 points lost for Liverpool rather than a 1 point gain, because this was a game they should have wrapped up in the first 45 minutes. Created a lot of chances, but as usual, failed to convert. This just sums up Liverpool's season so far. I thought, yes, they might have been winning games, but you would have seen those cracks there if you are a fan of Liverpool. This is not a vintage Liverpool side where they come into games trying to humiliate opponents and of course trying to kill off games as early as possible. Again, yes, they've been getting those 3 points, but yes, you will see those holes and those cracks all over the team, and it's just showed at Old Trafford, a game where they could have wrapped up in 45 minutes. They ended up struggling to even get a pointer in that particular one. I think it was an all-round entertaining one for those who love to see goals. But for myself, I think it was just one of those games where you just watch and you are like, what happens in the next game? Nothing so serious, Larry.
Well, the Liverpool man.
Yeah.
What happened at Old Trafford?
Like Pius said earlier, the boys were sloppy and they were not on the best of their games. And like Pius said earlier, I will go with Pius. Those games are the result of the games that have been coming, and Liverpool has been sloppy, and we concede, we score, we concede, and get back to win, struggle for the 3 points. So these games have been coming this way, and I felt
it's coming.
I felt one day this thing will just come up and catch up with us, but it's not one of the best results we could have, because this same result went down against Man City, fighting at the second half, but missing too many chances and not converting them. These are going to haunt you. These are going to come back and tell, because if you can't convert those chances, it's going to be a lot on the team back. So it's not the wonderful Liverpool I know, but likewise, and what Jurgen Klopp said, if it was Arsenal today, Arsenal would have buried Manchester United, and I felt he fell down, but on the other hand too, he said something again. These are the boys who brought us up to 71 points. So the lads were sloppy. They were not the team we know, but at the same time, we can't take away the performance. I think there's more to this Premier League, and I think there's a mystery that's going to happen. We are going to unveil a mystery.
Well, Sammy, what's your take for the game?
I have reservations about today's game. Considering the fact that Liverpool tend to call themselves title contenders for the league this season, and for me, if you are going to contend for the title, I felt like Liverpool had an edge over Arsenal and Man City up until today. They lost that edge at Old Trafford today because now they're in a very difficult spot. And when Klopp said if that was Arsenal Arsenal will have trashed Manchester United today at Old Trafford. He said that because he knows like that's what title contenders should be doing. Yeah, you need to be killing games like that. Like Man U were giving them the ball all first half. What were they doing? They were very slow in decision making. In front of goal. They made a lot of terrible, horrible decisions up front. So that makes me question, Liverpool's, contention for the league this season. Like, do you really want to win the league? Or, are you just there, to secure your top four, your Champions League next season? But yeah, I would say, in terms of form, Arsenal is on a different level right now. As hard as it is for me to say, Liverpool lost their edge to Arsenal today.
Well, we'll still be talking about Arsenal a bit, but I want us to stick to Liverpool. Pius, 3 weeks ago, Manchester City played this. Manchester United played this Liverpool side. Was there any lesson learned from the Liverpool perspective? Because last when they played at the FA Cup, against Manchester United, we saw these errors. Like Liverpool they couldn't convert all those chances. The goals which Manchester United scored came from the error from Nunes, I guess.
Yeah.
But today again, it's still the same thing. They were just very wasteful and couldn't convert those chances, and they just slept in the hands of Manchester United. Was there any lesson learned from the last tie against Manchester United? Pius?
I honestly do not think they really learned any lessons because from the, it was just 21 days between those two games, the game in the Cup and of course the game in Premier League. 21 days separates those two games, and I felt like Liverpool. To be honest with you, I worry for Liverpool after Jurgen Klopp. To be honest with you, I think the reason why the guys have amassed 71 points in the Premier League, the reason why they've pushed as far as this is because of Jurgen Klopp. I think it's just that figure. I think he's saying the right things to the players in the dressing room. I don't think this Liverpool side are that good to have amassed a number of points. And that's why I worry for them if this man eventually leaves there, because they would probably be as low as probably Newcastle or Tottenham Hotspur without Jurgen Klopp this season. That's how bad the team is. But the manager is just still trying to galvanize these guys, trying to put them together, trying to see that they can, hold through to the end of the season. And of course, he leaves. But after the club, I don't know what will become of Liverpool, and I seriously worry for them. And for lessons learned, I don't think they learned anything. This is not because they do not want to learn. It is because of how shaky the team has been. The holes have been there. They fail to take advantage of a poor Manchester United side. This is of the big teams in the Premier League. United, has to be the only team City has beaten home and away. And I think, of course, they even struggled against a very disjointed, a poor Chelsea side. United struggled against that particular team, and Liverpool could not get all 3 points of this Manchester United side. I think it shows how somehow the team has been. But of course, they will just manage to pull through to the end of the season. Hopefully, they get something out of this season. Maybe one more trophy to the one they already have, and of course, they can see how it goes from there.
Sammy, let's talk about this. There's this frustration among Liverpool fans about Mo Salah. He's not been. He's full. Let's say the frustration is coming from his performance for the last couple of games. When you see Mo Salah playing for Liverpool, what comes to your mind, Sammy? This is, for the past 4, 5, 6 matches.
The first thing, like today,
because there are some chances he needs to have been putting. It
was wasteful today, and it was very evident, and going into the season. I said something at the very beginning to a couple of people when I was having chats, regarding, Sadio Mane leaving and, Salah being behind. I saw this coming, and I said, Salah has done his best. And I felt it was time for him to go to Saudi Arabia, and because, you need a certain level of standard, to compete in the Premier League. And I felt like Salah is at a certain age where he can no longer deliver that standard.
Really?
And today, it was very, very, it was very, very glaring for everyone to see. Like, he had like 2 to 3 chances that on a typical Mohamed Salah, prime Mohamed Salah, would bury those chances. And, he chose to waste them. He made horrible decisions in some of his passes, making, incomplete passes. Those are not attributes, that we know that, about Salah. Like, this is a completely different Salah, and people keep to say, "Oh, he's fasting, Ramadan." Well, I've seen this, even before the fast, even before Ramadan. So, I think he's at that age where he needs to, I guess, find a greener pasture.
Seun, do you agree with Sammy? But
No.
I mean, is it? Are we seeing? Can we say this is the end of? Are we seeing the end of Salah in Liverpool right now?
So, firstly, I would like to say no to what Sam said.
But there's a decline. You agree that there's a decline to Salah's performance
there's a
currently.
decline.
Okay.
You can't play for those number of years with those goals and assists, and we expect you to be at that same level. So many players are declining. So not only Salah. So saying he will not give you that he can't compete at that level, no. At least even if Salah is still there competing, what about other players that are playing with him? Are they on that same level with him?
Yeah, my reason for talking about Salah, this is the man that, I mean, the team depends on his goals.
Yeah, I know.
And for the past couple of games now, it's been, not that the Salah. That's why I put it to you that.
So
are we now seeing the decline of Salah?
There's a decline.
Okay.
Honestly, there's a decline.
Pius,
I will not say
do you want to add something to that, please?
Honestly, I would not say there is a decline because if you check the highest scorer in the Premier League, Salah is still up there.
But do you think it's time? Pius, do you think?
Talk about a decline.
Pius, hold on. Oh, sorry, please. But okay, do you think it's time for Liverpool to move, just to move along and say goodbye to Salah at this stage? Because we've been seeing this performance, not the Salah we used to know.
Larry, I would also not agree that there is a decline. I think if you are talking about decline, are you going to tell me Haaland is also on a decline? Because at this time last season he has scored more than the number of goals he has scored already. So I think we should also consider the fact that Salah is playing with an entire midfield, an entire new midfielders. I mean, Liverpool changed the whole midfielders they have. I mean, he's playing with McAllister for the first time, Zubazai for the first time, Endo for the very first time. I mean, the guys up front, they have to chop and change between Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez, and Luis Diaz most times. So it doesn't even have a consistent 11. The backside also. I mean, when last did you see Alisson in goal? When last did you see Trent Alexander-Arnold? When last did you see Ibrahim Konate and Van Dijk pair themselves? So I think the whole team mentality, it is not only Salah. If we are isolating Salah, then we are unfair on the man because the whole team itself, like when we started this podcast, I said there has been cracks all over the team all season. They are just trying to manage through the season. They're just trying to pull through. In fact, the entirety of Liverpool, I think there is a massive problem, and maybe these guys have not gelled together. You can't blame Salah for everything that has been happening at Liverpool. And I will not also agree that he's not cutting it at the highest level because he is a big game player. He's a big name player as he stands right now. He can still decide to play in England for the next 2-3 years and nothing will happen to him. But of course, we also consider the fact that everything in the team is also contributing to the poor form of the team and not Salah himself. Because even with the poor form of the team, he's still scoring goals, he's still delivering, he's still high there, he's still up there in terms of guys who have scored the highest number of goals in the Premier League. So I would not also agree that he's declining. I would just say it is the team itself. I think we should consider all these factors before making our conclusion.
So you're saying, for him being wasteful today, that's on the team, and chances that should be buried.
No, I mean, in terms of being wasteful, in fact, Liverpool. Did you see Luis Diaz's misses also?
Yeah, Luis Diaz
also had chances he could have buried.
Yeah,
Darwin Núñez also. So I think isolating the man Salah is like saying he is the problem of the team. If you take him out, the team will do well.
No, we're not saying it's the problem of the team. We are just analyzing him and his level.
Pius, well, yeah, to what you just said, I mean, we're not saying it's declining right now, but I'm just saying I think there's a flip right now. I mean, there's a blip of.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same
Salah we used to know. I mean, yeah, we understand that the team itself.
But it's still safe.
Larry, you are also not looking at the fact that it is not the same Salah, but you're also not looking at the fact that he's having to play with a different midfield. In fact, the entirety of the midfield, they are different players.
I agree.
I mean, this is the guy that has been playing with some certain players for the past few years, and then you change the entire midfield and expect him to keep performing at that level. It take time. I think the reason why he'll be having a slow season thereabouts is because he's not been having that supply. Because if you take a look at Liverpool, the way they've been playing in recent years, they play with Trent and Robo. Robo got injured a few months ago. He just came back. Trent Alexander-Arnold is out of the team right now. So the flow is. I mean, I think there's, like I said earlier, the cracks are there. So singling out Salah is like saying, okay, no, let's turn a blind eye to the other problems and look at Salah. I think it's quite clear on demand, to be honest.
All right, moving on, guys. Let's go to Manchester United. You know, they lost at the midweek to Chelsea in a very disgraceful way. You know, today coming into the game against Liverpool, we've talked about the Liverpool's intent of coming to this game of winning. Like it's a title. This thing, like everyone
expected them to win.
Whitewash. You know, the predictions around it.
Yeah, it's Manchester United.
But again, this is Manchester United. If you listen to their fans and their oldies, you know, the form which Liverpool are always, no matter the form which Liverpool are always, when you get to Manchester United in some years back, not this recent Manchester United, before they start being useless and rubbish, but it always speaks for them at Old Trafford. But again, I want to stick to Erik ten Hag. You know, do you guys see Erik ten Hag in Manchester United next season?
No.
Sammy?
I mean, you know, going off his performances, I'll say no. But then, I'm not Jim Ratcliffe.
But I can, going off by his performances, I can say no. But to some extent, I can make an excuse for him.
Because this man will go on a streak of, losing, then redeeming his team back, he gets the winning, or, the pressure will calm down. But again, Pius, do you see Erik ten Hag at Manchester United? I mean, will he still remain at Manchester United at the end of the season?
Well, the body language of those at the top says that he will remain at Old Trafford next season. They don't look like they are bothered about the current form. Because I think he has sold that excuse, and of course, rightly so. He has sold that excuse of injuries to the board, and I think they are buying it already. To be fair on the man, I think he's been unfair with injury. Although some people will be quick to remind me that Chelsea do have injury problems, and of course Liverpool also do have injury problems. But if you take a look at the injury problems to Manchester United, I think and of course, with the fact that some of the players just chose this season to play out of form, I think everything together. But the body language, it just looks to me that the man will just remain next season. They will probably just back him in the summer, and hopefully he turns around next season. I think he'll be there next season.
I might make an excuse for Erik ten Hag or something, because having to play with 11 or 12 different backlines in one same season. Man, I still consider.
I mean, that's not even an excuse as well, because as a coach, we need to see a pattern. I've never seen a pattern with Manchester United at choosing. But the reason why they might not, that he might still remain as a coach of Manchester United is, one, before they can lay Erik ten Hag off from Manchester United, Manchester United will have to pay 40 million. They will have to pay 40 million as compensation, and they can't deal with that right now. Manchester United are on the one-on-one rule right now in EPL. So paying 40 million compensation, and I mean, this is a new board that spent almost a billion pounds. They can get rid of that. But again, football-wise and the financial status of the club, I don't think they can afford that 40 million, compensation. And again, the second thing is, right now, there are not a lot of, massive options for coaches in the whole world right now. Because tell me the options of coach. I mean, this is Manchester United. Every coach will want to come to Manchester United. But again, where are the options?
There are options.
Okay.
There are options.
There are options. There's Nagelsmann. There's Hansi Flick. There are options.
Let's connect this together. Okay.
There are options.
I understand. Let's connect this together. these coaches you've mentioned, okay?
Yeah.
These coaches you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Manchester United will have to pay for a certain amount of fee to
Yeah.
get the best of the coaches.
Yeah.
And how would they also cope with spending 40 million compensation on Erik ten Hag?
So they can. So
I mean, I'm not saying-
are you telling me if these performances go on and they don't make an Europa League or a Conference League, they will not keep it.
I get your point.
They will not
I'm
keep
only
it.
saying, based on PSR right now.
Okay, that's true.
The profit and sustainability rules right now,
They won't want to pay that amount.
you can't just want to, because look at the series of coaches which Manchester United have had in the past. They've been paying them off, and look at the transfers which they had. Manchester United could not sign a player until, they only had 100 million budget going into the season. During the January transfer, they couldn't sign. They came on a loan, which will be going back.
Yeah.
Even last season, we saw the handwriting on the wall. They bought in this guy from what's it called, Bayern Munich. I can't remember the name of this guy right now. It's just on loan, and the players which they had,
Sabitzer.
so they need to sell. They need to sell a big player before they can, But of course, this is a new.
But players, I think players will leave though.
With a massive contract,
Yeah,
do you think these players will leave?
I think
There's
the
this
likes
news
of
coming up.
Varane
There's this
is
news.
not happening anymore. I'm not sure, but Johnny Evans is going to leave. They're not going to renew the contract of Johnny Evans. I'm so sure.
Well,
Casemiro might want to leave also.
I think Pius will still want.
Everything might
Pius
wanna
will
leave
still want
also.
Erik ten Hag at Manchester United next season, right?
I still want Erik ten Hag at
Yeah,
Man U.
for the sake of Liverpool fans, I will still want
to be fair on the man,
I will still
the
want
last
to
manager to
fulfill.
have given them a trophy was Jose Mourinho until he came.
Right.
For the years Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spent at Old Trafford, he didn't give them a single spoon. Ten Hag came in his first season, won them a trophy, took them back to the Champions League spots. The second season is not really getting it right there. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, we'll talk about the injuries to the team. I mean, last season they didn't have as much injuries as they have in this season, and we saw what they managed to do. I think I want to see him again next season. I want to give him a chance. Don't feel aware that most of the players right there,
You want him
he
to
got
fail,
them in, and
so you can mock
it
him.
will be like a restart button to get a new manager who comes in right now, who want to do it with most of these players and get his own kind of players, which might not really favor the club, and of course they might probably be running on a huge loss, because if you take a look at what he has brought into the club, maybe you say 70% of the current club right now, or current squad right now, is brought them in, whether from the youth academy or from transfer market. He has a strong hold on this on the players already, on the club. I just want to see him next season and see what he does.
Yeah, me too.
Seun, where do you see Manchester United ending? Would they make the Europa League? Would they make the top four? Where do you see Manchester United
for the
ending?
top four? I don't think they will make the top four.
Okay.
But I think they will make the Europa League.
With this performance,
I think they will make the Europa League. They will just find a way to squeeze themselves in to make the Europa League. I
Sammy?
think they will.
Well, I think Man U has 49 points at the moment. West Ham is behind with 48 points. And Newcastle has 47 points. And I would like to say, Newcastle seems to have found a little bit of joy recently with Avi Barnes
You
and
sure?
Isak.
Coming back.
Yeah, Avi Barnes and Isak coming back from injury and performing, a little bit of wonders. I feel like Man U might have a little bit of, a tough one, considering their fixtures, that they have left. They have, Arsenal is still in the mix, and so I think it's going to be a very tricky one for Arsenal to try and see if they can get to, the Conference League. But if they do make it to the
for
Conference
Manchester
League,
United, right?
From
yeah,
Manchester United.
yeah, if they do make it to the
That's Old
Conference
Trafford.
League,
That's Old Trafford.
if they do make it to the Conference League, they're lucky.
No, they will make it to the Europa League, I feel.
All right, guys, this is Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV, and I still have my guys right here. I have Pius on the line, I have Seun, and I have Sammy. The Champions League is back, and we'll be dropping our prediction, the games which we'll be predicting, during the week. Yes, we have per game prediction as well, and we also have the final prediction of who is going to win the Champions League. So follow Gold Rush Football Podcast on Instagram for more details. We'll be dropping the details on how you're going to win yourself lots of prizes. Guys, who takes this league? Because at the beginning of this season and at the beginning of this podcast, we had this conversation like, oh yeah, who's going to win the league? Who's going to be second? So now I'm giving you opportunity to change your mind. You have the second.
That's a big.
You have the second thought now, because as the way it is now, I want to hear from.
Well.
Let me start from Seun.
Well, on paper, the fixture seems to favor Man City, but I would rightly say as a Liverpool fan that Liverpool will take the league. I would rightly say.
Let's start with the game of the week, which we've been waiting for. Arsenal versus Bayern Munich.
Yep.
Guys, where is this going to end, and what do you guys expect from the game, Sammy?
Personally, I think it's
The first leg is going to be at the Emirates.
Yeah.
And the second leg, the reverse fixture is going to be at
And the first
it's going to
league,
be in Germany.
Bayern Munich fans are not going to be there.
Bayern Munich fans are not going to be there.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like Arsenal has an edge here because
Because they're in form, number one.
Yeah, not number one.
But form is not in
yeah,
Champions
no,
League. This
no,
is Champions
yeah,
League.
this is Champions League.
Forget about how
Yeah.
rubbish, how useless Thomas Tuchel and Bayern Munich are right now.
Yeah, when Thomas Tuchel won the Champions League with Chelsea, I was in the league, in the Premier League. It was shy. So you
But there's this thing going around again that Thomas Tuchel winning the Champions League was a distant class from Pep Guardiola, allowing Thomas Tuchel. If Pep Guardiola had won that Champions League, then we wouldn't be saying Thomas Tuchel is one of the best elite coach. I mean, it's what is going around, not from me. I mean, not be Larry to talk that one.
A coach mistake can be a blessing to another coach in disguise.
All right, Sammy, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of Thomas Tuchel. So, I might seem to go in the direction.
Pius is setting ring lights now. Pius not is setting ring lights
Yeah,
for you.
I'm not a big fan of Thomas Tuchel. But I'm grateful for the Champions League, regardless. I'm grateful to him and Kai Havertz. But going back to my point, Arsenal has a hedge. The fact that they'll be playing at home. The Bayern fans won't be there.
Yes, the Bayern Munich fans will not be present at the Emirates. Yes,
So-
based on the ban.
Yeah, so the Bayern team is coming in naked to the Emirates, and when you look at the injuries, the likes of Sané, that will be unavailable for selection against
Kingsley
Arsenal
Coman-
during the
Kingsley
week.
Coman too will not
Kingsley
be
Coman is also out. So when you look at this combination of factors, I think this is a huge, it's a huge hedge. It's a huge advantage for Arsenal. And if Arsenal doesn't take advantage of this by scoring at least 4 to 5 goals at home,
In Champions League against Bayern Munich,
they might
you
live.
think that is true?
No, because they might live to regret it when they go to Allianz Arena.
Arena.
Yeah, they might regret it like big time. So they have to win this game at Emirates. They have to win this leg or this tie at Emirates. So the game against Bayern will be decided. It will decide who advances.
Seun.
So, for me, like Sam said, Bayern Munich are going naked truly. But I tip Arsenal to win the first leg, maybe by 3-0.
Really?
Yeah, because
This is Champions League.
I don't expect.
Remember the last time Bayern Munich and Arsenal faced? We
Yeah,
know the
but
scores. They
those-
call it
those
5-2 to that. Then
those times,
I don't want to go
those
there. You
times
made me mention
were
that
not this-
statement. Okay.
We're not this same Arsenal squad. This same Arsenal squad is on form. We know. But the Bayern Munich squad is not on form.
But they are wounded right now. You know Bayern Munich are wounded right now.
It's Champions League.
They are losing
I
the
think
league
they-
to Bayern
I
Leverkusen
think they
with
released-
almost 16 points right
I
now.
think
Is it
they
16 or
released
16
16
points right
16
now?
points.
I think
And
their
this is the
president
only thing.
released a statement saying they don't no insults to either them or something, that they are all going in for the Arsenal match and all that. So for the first leg, I'm expecting Arsenal to take the first leg, maybe 3-0.
Wow.
So then Arsenal to do a better job at Allianz Arena.
Remember, this is the Arsenal side that could not defeat Porto clearly, both home and away.
So fine, they could not defeat Porto, but I'm so sure Arteta has learned 1 or 2 lessons in that Porto match.
Bayern Munich is not really playing a fantastic football.
But you cannot judge.
So
I mean,
Thomas-
it's definitely
yeah.
going to happen. Definitely, yes. Because the form is also a key factor.
It's crucial.
But don't you think? Let's hear from Pius. Pius, who takes this?
It's looking like an Arsenal win, at least for the first leg. I'm not fully aware that Bayern Munich also, they are not really good travelers. Remember their round of 16 game against Lazio. They lost the first leg only to win the second leg at the Allianz Arena. And of course, their form in the Bundesliga It's actually nothing to write home about. I really wonder why Thomas Tuchel wasn't. If I were, one of the board of directors at Bayern, I would have, fired Thomas Tuchel on Saturday and maybe have another manager take charge of the Arsenal game. Maybe that would probably, tilt the game around and of course give it in favor of Bayern, because I think they are down. I really do not know what Thomas Tuchel will be saying to the guys in the dressing room going to that game against Arsenal. This is an Arsenal side that actually won their last game. I mean, in terms of form, momentum, they have the edge. But I wouldn't totally rule out Bayern, because the Champions League if you follow the Champions League in recent years, you know fully well that form most times do not matter. The last two winners of the UEFA Champions League, maybe you will say, have not been the guys who have been, in terms of form. I don't think they've been the guys who have been better. So I would want to give it.
You're talking about 2 years ago, not the recent
right now. So
okay.
slightly,
That's Real Madrid.
I will give it to Arsenal. I will give it to Arsenal slightly because they are playing at the Emirates first, and of course they have the momentum right there. But I don't know how the second leg will pan out. The second leg might be a totally different game from the first leg, but for the first leg, I think Arsenal will slightly edge Bayern for me.
Yeah, for me, I think if Arsenal is winning 2-0 at Emirates, they're on the wrong path. Yeah, they're on the wrong path. Yeah.
So at least they should.
But it's Bayern too. They are not.
No, they should win. At least they should win.
They've been conceding goals. Right? No matter how Bayern score, they score goals and they concede goals. So Arsenal winning, keeping a clean sheet. Win and keep a clean sheet is very, very important, right? Because Bayern Munich are very, very open. They concede goal like baskets.
Yeah, well,
they open everywhere.
Let
so many space.
Let Lazio tell you the story of their life.
Let us now win 3-0 first leg.
Okay.
Then second leg, maybe they can chase for a draw.
Yeah.
But if they win 2-0, first leg is a loss.
Yeah. Bayern Munich will feel like they can get a hang of it at Allianz Arena. To go down, they can do it.
All right.
I'm telling you, they already lost the league, so they might not really want to play for the league.
Exactly. Their
main focus will now be on the second.
Bayern Leverkusen could carry the league on Sunday, so it will.
All right. Yeah. If I could get you guys right here clearly now.
Yeah.
Only Pius gave us the answer that Arsenal will take this. So you guys, who's taking this now? Because we've just been merry-go-rounding.
Arsenal will take this.
Arsenal will win at home.
Arsenal. Everyone going for Arsenal.
Arsenal will take this both legs.
Everyone going for Arsenal.
Both legs.
Arsenal will take this. Wow. First leg is going to be like a 3-0. Second leg, then we'll chase for a draw.
Well,
so Arsenal will take this.
Arsenal will win
so by goals margin, Arsenal will take this.
Arsenal will win at Emirates, but at Allianz Arena, I don't think
they will
win.
They will score at Allianz Arena. So
they will score, but they won't win.
But the goals in Emirates will make them a favor by going.
Yeah, aggregates. Maybe they'll survive by aggregates. Yeah, maybe.
All right, let's go to the second game of the Champions League that's going to happen on Tuesday. Real Madrid, Manchester City. But before we go there, I get the guys to give us some little matchup of the first a combined 11 for Arsenal and Arsenal and then Bayern Munich. Right? Arsenal, Bayern Munich. Yeah. So I have Sammy's list here. So the combined 11 for Sammy from Bayern and Arsenal. He said Manuel will start in favor of Raya. And Noah is injured right now, so that one is out. So in the art of defense, Sammy has Gabriel and Saliba, no doubt about that. And then he has Guerrero and then Kimmich. No, we have Kimmich. So Kimmich is going to
play right back.
He also has Pavlovic, Odegaard, Rice, Saka, Musiala, and Kane. Here is my own problem now. So we know Kimmich is no. I think my problem here is, why would you want to leave the informed man out in Kai Havertz? He said something after the game yesterday against Brighton. They asked him. He said, "Is he trying to prove a point?" That he now said he's trying to make sure the haters and those that have been saying a lot of trash talk about him is proving that point right now. And this guy is the most informed guy in EPL right now. Yeah. His GA, his goals and assists.
I'm sorry, who? Kopama?
Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, yes, since February.
If he doesn't have a goal, he has an assist.
I mean, right now, the way Arteta is using him is the way Chelsea engineered him to be back then in Chelsea, which wasn't successful. Although Arteta also, this is just okay. They say when they try something where the team no go, at the end of the day, you will just lead to something that thing will come jail for you. Because mainly, Havertz was bought in the place of Xhaka Road, but that wasn't working. We all saw that. Now, I think it's much more efficient in that at the first nine right now. So you go for Havertz with the style of play with Saka, and then you sit. I mean, you go for Harry Kane, not Havertz, right?
Are you kidding me? What? Are you kidding me?
Is that a joke?
Harry Kane has 50 goals and assists.
But we're talking about
50 goals and assists. Are you kidding?
We're talking about a guy that has been very, very informed in EPL right now.
Kane is firing.
So you mean Havertz will not make the first 11 of a combined 11 of Bayern Munich and
on my own first 11.
See, if you are doing the combined 11 of Aston Villa and Arsenal, you will not make my 11. Yes, because Ole Watkins is more informed than he is.
Yeah.
Do you agree with Sammy with this formation?
Well, on my own end, I would have Raya on the goalpost because Noah is not available. I will have Kimmich playing the right back.
Okay.
We know the Gabriel and Saliba, the block and cement.
So none of those Bayern bodies.
Guys.
None of those Bayern bodies will make a first 11. The likes of Kim Min-jae, the likes of Upamecano, the likes of
you can't have Saliba. You can't have Saliba like Gabriel.
So Pius, what do you say? Not Mecano generator.
You can't have Saliba and Gabriel then bench them for Upamecano and Kim Min-jae.
So even just
Erik Dyer.
No, Erik Dyer. Are you kidding me? No. Then on my midfield side, I'll have Rice, Odegaard, and Musiala. Then on the wing, I'll have Saka, I'll have Kane and Gnabry. But I might like to have Saka. If Sane was available, I would like to have Saka, Sane, and Kane. But since he's on injury, I'll have Gnabry, Kane, and Saka.
So where do you put Musiala in this game?
I'm going to put Musiala on the 10. Then I'll put Odegaard on the 8 and leave Declan Rice to play the 4.
Okay, so you mean Odegaard, Musiala, and Rice?
Yeah.
Have you watched Pavlovic played?
He hasn't, obviously.
If you watch Pavlovic play,
he hasn't, obviously.
So if he plays, is he going to be better than Odegaard?
He's an holding 4.
So are you going to drop him? Are you going to drop Declan Rice?
No, Rice is in there with Odegaard.
He has Rice with his own formation.
Are you going to play?
I'm giving Rice the ability to go and score goals.
So you don't have Odegaard.
Move forward. Odegaard.
You're putting Musiala on the wing. Okay.
Yeah, Musiala is going to play from the left.
I'll rather keep Musiala in the middle.
Well, I like to give him space because then he can penetrate.
I like to keep him in the middle. Then it makes the work draw defenders. So
all right.
Kane can get
so before we get Pius combined 11, let's take the actual prediction. You say, you want 2-0, 2-1, Arsenal is going to win, Bayern is going to win. I mean, Arsenal is going to win. It's going to be like 2 goals margin or 3 goals. It's going to be 2-0, 3-0. For the punters, we are giving the investors this opportunity if you can pick here. But no talk say now from Gold Rush Football Podcast you go put. so you can edit it the way you want it, but who knows? You might be winning your dough here as an investor. So take this 2-0, 3-0 Arsenal.
I'll go by Arsenal 4-1 first leg.
Sammy?
Well, I'm going to go with 3-1. I think Harry Kane has a goal. And Arsenal's going to get 3, so 3-1.
All right.
In favor of Arsenal.
I don't want to ask Pius his own combined 11 because there are some names that we want to throw inside the gutter, so don't let's go there. Pius, let's talk about Bayern. Let's talk about Real Madrid and Manchester City. Where do you see this one ending?
That's a big one.
Okay, so I think it will be a difficult game. Difficult because all season also, I've actually been an advocate of the fact that I'm not seeing this effective, dominant City side. I mean, if you take a look at the City that won the treble last year, it's quite different from the City we have seen this season. And the way they have also played, the way they've also replaced some of the lost players, and when I mean loss in transfers, is also a cause for concern and a cause for worry. Some of the guys who would naturally, come off the bench and help City in the Champions League games, crunch ties, and no more at City. And the guys they have right now don't even know the culture, they don't know the tradition. I mean, I was if you have seen this City's treble that is currently on Netflix, you understand the way City played in that their treble winning season. I mean, the ins and outs of the dressing room, the pep talks and everything really showed what City.
Gundogan's impact as well.
Emblem City is. But I mean, this season we are not seeing it. We've seen them lose games they are not supposed to lose. We've seen them drop points in some ridiculous fashion, and I think it's evenly poised. Real Madrid, on the other hand, yes, they might be winning games in the La Liga. Of course, it is the La Liga where you have, two teams, maybe three, eventually fight for the title, and then you have other guys.
If you want to talk to me direct, don't cut through corners. Don't stop to me direct. Don't cut through corners.
But of course, it's the truth. But I think quality and youthful exuberance, you find all this in this Real Madrid side, and I think the game it will be difficult to predict. Slightly, I would give it to Real Madrid, unfortunately.
Sure.
Well, as for me, slightly I will give it to Man City. Because the squad Madrid have right now, there are a lot of injuries. They're not going to be Thibaut Courtois. There's no Eder Militao. There's no Alaba. So I think they want to use Rudiger and maybe Tchouaméni, and I think Man City is going to win by just a moment of brilliance. And I know Man City has not been the Man City side we know, but I still feel they still have their players, not really injured, but they still have players that can make a difference. KDB can just give us that moment of brilliance, Bernardo Silva can turn off, Foden can just take his shot outside and get a goal. But for the Madrid side, going from the midfield and the striking force, I think they are compact. But on the defense side, I don't think they will be able to hold Man City back. So I see them slightly qualifying ahead of Madrid.
Sammy?
I see them.
I think I'll give this to Real Madrid. Real Madrid, this is their thing. This is more of their thing. Like this is their tournament. Their league. So the Champions League is theirs. Like, when you're comparing the team spirit and levels, and then the coach, and in games like this, I'll give it to Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid has a better chance of winning this game, and then they are going to be home, so it's going to be a very thrilling tie.
But the
first leg is going to be at Etihad.
No, the first leg
is going to be at Bernabeu.
Yeah, it's going to be at Santiago Bernabeu.
Yeah,
City's qualified.
Okay, well, Kyle Walker is not there to stop Vini. So I'm gonna see if Akanji can catch up to Vini.
But to Sammy's point, saying Real Madrid is going to qualify. Real Madrid in the La Liga, they've been doing patch-ups of defenders.
Yeah.
They've been doing patch-ups of midfielders, and Kroos have been sharing minutes with Modric as well.
Yeah.
But again, we have a City side that have been very, very sloppy this season. I mean, they cannot. They are very vulnerable in transition. No. They cannot defend for their lives this season. They cannot defend. Yeah. I mean, they cannot keep clean sheets as well. And then this vulnerability is where Real Madrid can thrive on. Yeah. Because in transition, you saw what happened against Crystal Palace yesterday. Look at the goal which Mateta scored.
Yeah.
Ruben Dias could not go back, and Manchester City depends on a very athletic player who can do that and track back in Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
We don't know if Kyle Walker will be in that game, but again, take away Kyle Walker, all-round play of Manchester City this season. I mean, yes, they've been passing up and getting the result, but this is not the City side based on their standard.
Yeah.
This is not the City side that we've seen. We've seen in recent years.
Yeah.
The game changers are no more there again. I mean, they have the likes of Doku. They have the likes of
Doku game changer.
No. I'm just saying. I mean, they brought in some signings in.
Yeah.
The signings, to be sincere, the all-round signings for City.
Yeah.
Isn't that, it's not the 90 or 80%. I can say it's like 50% because the guys which they've brought in have not come in to fill that shoes. Well, you can say this is their first season under Pep Guardiola, which has been always the excuse that's been going around, that for your first season you have to still learn. But again, City cannot just defend for their life, and in transition, I think they will suffer against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Pius, do you agree with that?
I think so. I mean, you rightly mentioned the quality of players they've brought in. If you have players like Erik can leave the side, Riyad Mahrez, and you've replaced them. Of course, you have to also mention Kopama, and then you replace them with players
like Kovacic.
Matheus Nunes, Jeremy Doku, and then Mathieu Kovacic. These guys have barely even lived up to expectation for Manchester City. I think that edge you have over teams bringing players off the bench. City do not have those kind of opportunities this season. Apart from their players who are starting, you see them struggle to bring players off the bench, and it is really something difficult for Pep Guardiola this season. I think he's just trying to manage this season, trying to get the best out of these players. But I think they would struggle against Real Madrid. And the reason why I've slightly given it to Real Madrid in the first leg is because of the fact that, yes, I understand the injury worries to Real Madrid. They've been trying to chop and change the defense line, trying to use players who are not defenders in that position. But if you notice, they've been able to manage through, even though they struggled in some games, but they've been also able to manage through. Somebody mentioned Thibaut Courtois. They've not played with Thibaut Courtois for God knows how long right now, and they've been able to manage through the goalkeepers they have, Kepa Arrizabalaga and the other man. So I think in all sincerity, it's going to be a difficult game for Manchester City. If this were a game last season, I would have given it to City straight up, and of course I'll tell you this is a straight win for City. But knowing how City have struggled this season, I think it will be difficult for them. Slightly, again, Real Madrid might just edge the first leg, but who knows what happens in the second leg. City might just turn it around.
Seun, why do you give Manchester City this tie?
So I remember the last match they played before playing Crystal Palace. Guardiola had KDB, Haaland on the bench, and they still won the match by Foden coming to do some stops and all that. But when you had KDB, when the next match against Crystal Palace, see what KDB scored. See his impact. It was not so it was not that KDB we think is poor. But KDB came back again in that match and showed some moment of brilliance also again. So, and fine, they could not defend, right? They are poor defensively, but I still felt if KDB and Haaland get back into that match, there will still be moment of brilliance. And they have an edge. They are going to the Bernabeu first. And now the Champions League is not by home and away goals. It's
not by goals.
It's about how you can score. So if they can get 2 goals at Madrid's home, and if Madrid win them by 3-2 or 2-1, that's not a qualification for Madrid, because they are coming back to the Etihad. And now Guardiola can plan better. Walker might be back by then. Can plan better and take a win.
Yeah, I think we're not really talking about the tie in general. We're just talking about this first part of the tie.
Because if you look at the way which Real Madrid plays, in that diagonal Jude Bellingham spot, that is where City suffers the most.
I know.
That is where City suffers, because in transition, you don't expect. The last season, Vinicius Junior was at the flank, hugging the flank. These days, Vinicius don't hug the flanks right now. It's very, very. He's playing the diagonal position with Rodrigo. So you don't expect City to counter with, even if Kawaka will be playing, you don't expect Kawaka to be there mounting for Vinicius. We saw what happened at the El Clasico, where you thought Vinicius was going to keep hugging with Araujo. But at the end of the day, it was Jude Bellingham that was doing the job. So I think with City's vulnerability, Real Madrid can exploit it very, very well. I mean, at Santiago Bernabeu, you cannot write off Real Madrid this season. I'm not going to performance. I mean, forget about the fact that City are the world champions, they are the champions in Europe, they are this, they are that. But it's clearly, with all what we've been saying, that this City side, I mean, if they play with their A game, if they choose to play their A game against Real Madrid, I mean, this is Pep Guardiola as well. We don't know what to expect. But again, you cannot write Real Madrid off.
On the first leg, I would not give it to Man City. But I'm talking about the
general. Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the both ties.
All right.
I don't expect City to go there to grab a win at Bernabeu.
Okay.
But I expect them to have something that can assure them a win in second leg.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I agree to that. Guys, This is Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV, and we are talking about the Champions League. Let's talk about the second game, which is the match day 2 in the quarterfinal. So we start with Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. This is a bracket that has Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, Barcelona, and then PSG. Barcelona fans all over the world, they are basking in the euphoria that at least if they can disgrace PSG, Dortmund and Atletico, now beans for them. But again, before we go to that story, let's talk about Dortmund and Atletico Madrid. Guys, who takes this? Seun.
Well, I would say Atletico will take this.
Okay.
Who's gonna be at home first?
Atletico starts the game at the Atletico will be playing.
I think Atletico will take this. I don't see Dortmund fighting or getting this. Because Atletico has been coming here and they are not.
But this is how we'll be saying about Dortmund.
They are not.
Sammy, this is how we'll be saying about Dortmund.
I think they are going to.
They were in the supposed group of death in the group stage. The group that has PSG, Newcastle, Juventus, and Dortmund, and he came out top of the group. I mean, they might be very useless in the league. We all know that. Even on Saturday, they lost to Stuttgart as well. They are neither here nor there. But Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, is it luck or their hard work, Sammy?
Personally, I think they're using their Champions League experience to navigate their way in the Champions League. And that's the only thing keeping them in the Champions League. But honestly,
remember they have Jadon Sancho now.
I think Atletico has the edge, the ability. I mean, coming from beating Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Like the way they won, that the morale, the momentum that they brought from that game, this should be a close game for Atletico,
Pius, you going for Tico or Dortmund?
Yeah. No, I would go for Atletico Madrid. I think in the Champions League, you're talking about pedigree. You want to give it to Atletico de Madrid in recent years. They played the finals also. The way Dortmund even qualified to play in this particular round, you know that these guys are really serious. I mean, in fact, they even lost at the weekend in their league game. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just a case. It's written Atletico all over it. Yeah. Because like the guys rightly said, Atletico knocked out Inter, who were our favorite. In fact, they played the last year's final. So I think one of the favorites I think Atletico de Madrid do have that edge in terms of quality of players, the quality of coach, and everything. I mean, going into this game, I think momentum. So the way Dortmund even played against PSV, if PSV had taken their chances, they probably would have knocked out Dortmund in the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. So I think putting everything into proper perspective, Atletico de Madrid should see this home and away.
All right, guys, let's talk about the final game on match day 2 in the quarterfinal. We're talking about that's the game that's going to see Paris Saint-Germain, and then FC Barcelona, will be playing in Paris for the first leg of the UEFA Champions League. Barcelona, qualifying in the route of the group, coming first and also defeating Napoli, which a lot of people believe, I don't want to mention names on this podcast so that you don't throw stones at the end of the day. So believe Barcelona and then will not be able to qualify in that group. But lo and behold, Football Club de Barcelona will be playing in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. And again, they also have a good bracket, according to Barcelona fans, that they'll be playing either the winner of Borussia Dortmund and Atletico Madrid. So guys, this is PSG. There's a lot of bromance, in this tie. We have the likes of the coach. Talking about the coach of PSG, Luis Enrique, the former coach of Barcelona, the former player of Barcelona, a coach that has won the Champions League. The last time Barcelona won the Champions League, it was this coach that gave them the Champions League. Yeah. We have Ousmane Dembele, the former Barcelona player who was always at the front row at Eskenazi with Barcelona, always at the doctor's front row back then.
Doctor's office.
And we also have Kylian Mbappe coming to, it's all hands leads to
we also have
coming to Spain.
An ex-Madrid player who will prove a point against Barcelona.
Meanwhile,
which is Asensio.
Barcelona also have a very promising youngster right now. We're talking about Paul Kubasi, Lamine Yamal, and Fermin Lopez. I don't want us to start talking about the players, but let's talk about the game generally. Let me give it to Pius. PSG Barcelona. What should we be expecting?
The beauty about this particular podcast is the fact that we don't do what other podcasts would naturally do. You know, other podcasts will save the best game for the last, but in this podcast, we decide to put one of the weakest games for the last. And this is the beauty of this podcast.
Wow!
The
Please
PSG
press the bell.
game as the last to talk about, which is what you don't get on that podcast. Having said that, I think. To be honest, if you take a look, I saw PSG's last game in the league, and I mean, this is although Kylian Mbappe didn't start that game, started from the bench. In fact, is both Etan Mbappe and Kylian Mbappe were both on the bench, and they came up at some point. I think I probably wasn't in the head of Luis Enrique, but I think he was resting Kylian Mbappe for FC Barcelona. Whether that will pay off is another conversation entirely. But I think this PSG side can also be, they can also be exploited. They have, in fact, a lot of weaknesses. And I think if Barcelona take their chances, they might eventually knock out this PSG side. Having said that, in terms of quality, Larry started by mentioning the Kubasi, the Kokasi, and the C in the FC Barcelona. But I think in terms of quality, they can be an homage to the quality in PSG, because of course they have players with higher pedigree and of course bigger players in terms of the transfers and of course the amount of money spent on that particular squad. I think it's a match. They also have two managers who are just trying to find themselves in this particular competition, because Xavi in the Champions League, I mean the last two seasons he's been knocked out like a baby. So I think for me, I will slightly give it to PSG because of, one, the manager, two, the quality of players they do have. Kylian Mbappe also know that this is the last chance to make a mark at PSG, and of course in the Champions League. Maybe I'll probably use this as a motivation. Who knows? But because of the quality of players and the quality of manager, I will give it to PSG.
Well, enough of this Barcelona 8. Let me hear from those that don't have the Barcelona 8 here in the studio. Seun.
Yeah, well, so Pius said some things, and I will...
So you want to go through the route of Pius?
No, I'm not going through the route
of Pius. So go to your own. I want to hear from you. Leave Pius alone. Just leave Pius alone. We'll be back on this podcast.
So I don't think the PSG coach has been trying to rest Mbappe. No. I think he has been trying to prove a point
that I can do it with Mbappe. But yesterday, that's not point two. It's because of PSG. That one is very clear. So, it's because of Barcelona yesterday.
I think he has been trying to do.
I mean, you are. I mean, two rights can definitely coexist. Yes, you are definitely right.
I think he was trying to do away with Mbappe sometimes and see, but fine. PSG has Mbappe. They have all these likes of players, but I still expect Barcelona to turn up. I still expect Barcelona to take the win because...
look at the camera. This is Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV. Look at the camera from your own heart, from wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly, Sheil, tell the camera that Barcelona will defeat PSG.
So, I'm going to say Barcelona is going to defeat PSG because if you watch the Barcelona-Napoli game, with the likes of stars in the Napoli team.
What stars? What stars in the Napoli team?
There are stars in the Barcelona, in the Napoli team. There's Osimhen there. This other guy on the wing.
There's Which other guy? Agusa is the star.
Agusa is the star.
Where did they sign him from?
Agusa is the star.
Where did they sign Agusa from? From Championship.
Let him finish.
So with the squad Barcelona have, I think those boys will still want to prove their point, play for Xavi, because we can hear from all news or rumors that they're trying to beg Xavi to stay. So I think if Xavi really wants to do a good job, he should get the win.
Because you don't have money.
He should get the win. He should get the win at PSG's home, and he just take the tie.
Yeah, you just mentioned the unseriousness and the unserious attitude of Barcelona. Trying to beg Xavi to stay. At this point of the, I mean, there's a lot of conversation to that. I mean, it's a story for another day. Let me hear from you, Sammy. Who takes this?
Well, when you're talking about Barcelona playing in Napoli, you have to consider the fact that this is a Napoli that has dropped immensely, like horribly in form, considering the form they were last season.
This is the same PSG. This is the PSG have been doing Amaka.
You can't.
Been losing too.
Yeah, and then this is the Champions League. You're you're looking at players like Mbappe, that that's leaving, that has probably a goodbye gift to the Parisians.
There's
So
Lewandowski.
So Barcelona, I can't
There's
use it.
Lewandowski. There's Gundogan. What are you saying?
Lewandowski.
There's Gundogan. There's Arujo.
Is Lewandowski
Koundé.
still alive? Like what's
Max,
he doing?
No, what are you saying?
I mean, what?
A former FIFA
Come
best
on,
player.
come on, that man is done. He is done. Like,
All right. So I asked the guys once again to give us their combined first 11. Between first 11 among Barcelona and then PSG. So I think we have the same thing with Seun right there. Sammy and Seun, they are going for Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal.
Yeah.
Sammy is going for Araujo and Koundé at the heart of defense.
I'm going for Skriniar and Arujo.
And Seun is going for Skriniar and Araujo. On the wings, we have the left back. He has
Cancelo.
Cancelo, and then Sammy has Lucas Hernandez.
Wow.
Right side,
Hakimi,
and then Koundé. So Sammy is going for Hakimi.
I'm going for Koundé.
Going for Koundé. So let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Pius. So you be the judge here, please. You be the judge here. So who are you going for? At the defense, I want to hear your own first 11. So we now use it to just give an assessment on the two first 11 that we have, the combined 11. Give us your own combined 11. Then we use it to assess the ones which you have here. So the majority carries the votes right here. Let's go. The goalkeeper.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can. The goalkeeper. Yeah, Pius. We can't hear Pius anymore. Anyways, Seun, why would you choose Skriniar over?
Because I want Koundé to play too.
So you're making shit for Koundé.
Yeah. I want Koundé to play too.
well, Koundé is playing in my
Koundé
list.
is also playing his own list as well, right here. Koundé is playing his own list. But again, looking at the four, this is where I have issues. He has Sammy has Ugarte and then Gundogan. This is like a mobile four because we can't see if we are not sure if Frankie De Jong
Will be
available. But the guys are going for
Frankie De Jong.
Frankie De Jong. You pick De Jong, and so only Gundogan will make the team in the midfield for Sammy.
So
Gundogan is not making your team.
Gundogan is there now.
Gundogan is making your team, but Sammy, I just want to ask, why is it that only Gundogan will make the midfield for the combined 11? You forgot Barcelona has this.
Mention.
Pedri can come in as a sub for
Pedri. That's Pedri. Yeah.
But it's just coming back. It's just coming back.
Yeah, he's just coming there. Yeah, so that's why I didn't pick him because honestly, if Pedri wasn't if he had game time,
Pedri just coming back.
Pedri will be coming in ahead of Lee Kang-in. But because Pedri is just returning from injury, I had to give it to Lee Kang-in.
Lee Kang-in doesn't really have that.
So there's this twist again here, Sammy. So you choose Asensio. I think you are not deciding from Asensio
or Yamal. Yeah.
So why do you choose that?
That is very, very tricky for me. The first person I cancelled out was Ousmane Dembele. I didn't even want to think about him at all. I just cancelled him out.
Dembele will not make the first.
No, he's not even making my subs.
No, Dembele. Really?
He's not even making the ball boy. Are you kidding?
Dembele. Really?
But yeah, Yamal, for his age, the way he has carried Barcelona, and the attributes he has shown at his age, and the capacity of both, club level and national level. That kid is just built different.
Yeah, we have Pius back again. So Pius, we want to hear your own first 11. So we judge it with what we have from the guys. Let's start from the goalkeeper.
Okay, so for the goalkeeper, I would give it to Marc-Andre ter Stegen of Barca.
Okay.
And I'm tempted to start Mukiele. But
No.
I think I would, just for consistency, I will put Achraf Hakimi there.
Oh, okay.
Because I think in terms of productivity going forward, and of course tracking back, I think Mukiele is better. But let's just say for natural sake, let's put Achraf Hakimi there. I will pair I'll pair Ronald Arroyo with Milan Skriniar.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think for experience.
Okay.
Yes, Arroyo and Skriniar.
You got that?
And I would play. So I'm left with left back, right?
Yes.
No, right back.
Left back.
Left back.
Okay, left back. It's difficult. It's difficult because I love my players going forward and of course tracking back, and I love players who can give more. It's a little bit tricky, but I would play Marcos Alonso.
What? Ahead of Lucas Hernandez.
Ahead of Cancelo.
I think I'll play Marcos Alonso.